Spies is the first proper Snafu cartoon that I've seen. I saw the introduction to Private Snafu and I'm very excited to check out the cartoons. And I have to say, I really enjoyed Spies. I think the reason Snafu was created as a character by the US Army is because they wanted something that the soldiers would actually pay attention to, because obviously a lot of educational videos could be quite dry and quite boring. Snafu as a character is meant to represent, well, on the one hand, he represents the everyman, but on the other hand, he represents the most unintelligent, to be frank, dim-witted member of the army. So he also brings in a comedic aspect as well as being a little bit more relatable than your kind of perfect army man, if you like. And I say man, this was, of course, in the 40s when soldiers were generally male. And this was released in 1943. It's directed by Chuck Jones with the brilliant Mel Blanc as the voice of Private Snafu. And in this one, he is telling us, the viewer, all about the fact that he has a secret and he has to keep his secret a secret so that the enemies don't get wind of it and it doesn't jeopardize the entire mission. But as he is doing this, he is telling various people little bits and pieces of the secret. He'll let slip one bit of information to somebody, which on its own wouldn't do anything. And then he lets another little bit of information slip to somebody else, which again, in isolation, that fact won't give them any information. But when spies are following Snafu around, they're able to piece together all of these bits of the jigsaw to get a better understanding of what the US Army are planning to do. And I'll explain just now a little bit more about what happens in the animation in a bit more detail with a bit more of a spoiler, but ultimately the cartoon is showing that even though you may think you're being careful with secret information, you may be giving on more than you think you are, and you need to avoid these situations. And it's doing it through humour, and it works very well. So spoiler now for what happens once it gets into the heart of the episode, the cartoon. It's only about 5 minutes in length, and once it gets into the kind of the main crux of the narrative, when we realise what is happening, Snafu gets inebriated and he meets this pretty girl who has swastika breasts, and he begins to, obviously he gets drunk and he begins to spill all of these secrets to who he believes to be a sweet, pretty, attractive, harmless woman. And the message gets back to the Nazis and to Hitler, who is dressed as the devil, and the likeness is uncanny. It's brilliantly done. And ultimately, Private Snafu is punished for revealing these secrets and giving these secrets to the enemy. And I definitely think it will, well, I'd like to think it would make anybody watching it stop and think twice about what information they may be sharing. It's just little things, like Snafu would tell one person he's going on a boat trip. Doesn't really give much away. He would tell another person that, I can't remember what he said exactly, but he would say something else, just a small tiny detail, which on its own doesn't reveal much. But if you're being followed by enemy spies, they can piece that together. Then, of course, if you get drunk and tell a pretty girl the entire plan, and she is spying for the enemy, then information is going to get back. I thought it was very effective. It's my first full, proper Private Snafu cartoon. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Mel Blanc does a great job with the voice. Obviously, Chuck Jones is a brilliant director. The quality of animation is fabulous. Really looking forward to seeing what the rest of them are like. So far, Private Snafu, Spies, is definitely brilliant. It's entertaining. I think it could be quite effective, and it's definitely worth checking out.